I'm too heavy, but honestly, I'm usually too depressed to actively change my habits right now. Hopefully, once Corona is over, I can get a sponsored program. I need outside accountability. Outside accountability. I think you should take the accountability on yourself, right? Like, you're saying you're feeling depressed. These things are like a feedback loop with one another, right? If you don't exercise, you don't take care of your body, your mind's going to go in that direction as well. Pushing in the other direction and taking care of your body, your mind can come with it. And that doesn't happen in a day, doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it's difficult, it's hard work, but you got to take accountability for your own situation. If you're looking for outside accountability, in my mind, for most people, that's not going to get you anywhere. You have to take full responsibility for your situation and then undertake the actions to change and amend them. And, the act of looking for a future date to do something, like, you might hear me talk about, oh, we'll do this thing in the future, right? Like, I kind of know where I'm at. And when I tell myself, like, one day I'm going to get back into running again or whatever, it's because, like, I'm divvying up my time doing all sorts of different things. But I know I'm capable of doing that. But there's also this other way of talking to yourself like that, where you're like, I'll do it tomorrow, right? Tomorrow never comes. It's all about taking accountability and doing it, like taking control and making the decisions and pulling the trigger. Like, you have to do that because tomorrow never comes. If it's, after Corona, there'll be a new reason after Corona that you can't do it. So, dude, like, take accountability of your situation. No one else is going to fix it for you. The actual nose Vol says, I'd be very careful about giving advice about depression, Asuma. It's got many causes, so you'd be at risk of generalizing. Sure, okay. Yeah, I mean, you might have clinical depression or, something a little bit more than just general depression. My experience with depression is just that, like, the way out of it for me was just to get myself in good health. It's like the body came with the mind, and I've heard so many other people say that. But, if I'm transparent about that, like I'm trying to be right now, then you take that information, you take what I said. That doesn't mean you have to do what I said and follow, just account it into your own situation, I guess. That's why I feel like with anything we ever talk about, and with being able to talk about things in general, like the act of listening to someone talk about something, whoever's talking should be honest and tell you where they get their information from and try and divulge the thought process, because you're not listening in the act of following, you're listening in the act of being enriched by what someone else is saying and being able to take that information and use it in your own way, essentially. Exercise might not be a mental health magic bullet, but it's never going to be bad for depression, says Kineos. Yeah, that's a statement I'd also agree with, right? You can't really fail from trying to exercise because, I mean, there's so much, information on it. Like, it's undisputably good to keep your body in good shape, and your body puts endorphins and stuff into your brain when you exercise, and that's why there's that strong link between mental health and physical health. Might not be the cure for everyone, but there's a good chance it can make a difference at least. Someone uninteresting said, I used to have depression, and the way I got better was by exercising and going on long runs and blasting music. That's what I did too, dude. Lots of runs with music. Toby1 Kenobi says, wait, you had depression? Well, it's a weird thing. When I was younger, I was like miserable a lot, in a more like existential way, I guess you could say. I had good times, I had fun. Like, it's ups and downs. Like, there were good times, there were bad times, but there were a lot of bad times. And looking back on it now, I didn't have the arsenal of tools in terms of introspection, thoughts and feelings, understanding oneself. Like, I didn't have a lot of that to get myself through things. So I wouldn't no longer call it like depression as in clinical depression. But I would have at the time. I definitely thought I had something wrong with me. But now I look back and I feel differently about that, right? I feel like it's like a mental trap. Like, you can get stuck in a bad way of thinking and feeling. And as I sort of said, the way out, exercise, big part of that. But yeah, I would have described myself then as being depressed, like most of the time, but like not all of the time, I guess. Like, it was there were ups and downs. That's more or less kind of depression. Sorry to hear you felt something like that, says Pig Puncher. I appreciate your words there. I mean, I'm over it now. Like, it's not a big deal to me anymore. It's just that's life. Like, you're on a road and it goes from one place to another. I'm very happy that I got myself away from that. But it's a weird thing to look back on because it's kind of like really distant now.